part of this too is this idea of people who are making that kind of money. What careers are they in? Service, industry, the people who are working in the restaurants, working in the hotels, we even talked about first-year nurses are in that level, and they need to be able to be close to where they work, or what's the point? And if the rest of us in middle-class America are saying, well, they should have stronger families, if it takes them 2 hours each way to get to work, where is the time to raise responsible families? So this gets at overlapping issues in a lot of ways. Bettina, you yourself had that experience early on in your life of the tension of where you can make a living and where you live.
Yeah, because I'm a single mom. So,
Slowly.
Thank you. So I'm a single mom, and I didn't get a car for 4 years when I lived here in Celebration. I was lucky to live in Celebration, so my clients was in this area. But I still had to hurry to be home because my son is coming out of school. And I cannot leave him alone when he was 7 years old, 8 years old. So now you have to imagine you live on 192 and they live in a hotel. There's no affordable housing. They have no money for themselves and they cannot take the bus from one point to another point because they have no time. They have to be home. If they leave the kids alone, then DCF is taking the kids away. So what's happening to all single parents who live on 192 and work for Walmart or for other areas where tourists are? So I think we need desperately affordable housing on 192. Thank you. You're welcome.
Now we know we've got you for 4.5 more minutes.
And I'll come back. We should, yeah, that's fine.
So, a few questions. We understand that there is a commission meeting at the end of this month, but we haven't had any concrete information that we can find about what is that going to be. Can you tell us what is this meeting going to be about in terms of affordable housing? Or if Celestia wants to run with it, that's cool too.
So we have BCC, Board of County Commissioner meetings every 3 times a month. It's every Monday. The first 2 Mondays it's at 1:30, and the third Monday of every month it's at 5:30. That is normal. We have those meetings all year long, unless there's holidays and that changes. I'm not really sure what meeting you're talking about, to be honest with you, besides the BCC meeting.
I think what we're talking about the West 192.
Oh, that's so again.
About changing some
So
ordinances.
the county has many different board meetings that the commissioners are not involved in. We actually put people in those, like residents like yourselves that want to be involved into these meetings. And the West 192 has stakeholders that are actually involved in 192, the day-to-days. So they are reviewing probably some of the stipulations to then provide to our staff that will then review that and then give us recommendations. Then the board makes a decision as a full body in order to vote on what the stipulations will be. So until it gets to that final point, I never like to say what's exactly going to be on the requirements, because I have already seen in my experience there, a commissioner may change something or may want to change it, and the others may agree on one vote of 5. I have to work with my fellow co-workers. I have to make sure that it is the best interest of not just our district, but since 192 is long, it goes past our district, and we also have 4 corners, which I'm actually working with all 3 other commissioners, Polk, Lake, and Orange. We had finally met as commissioners and said, what do we want our 4 corners to also be like when we talk about changes that we're making, so that we all look alike and that the stipulations are the same, because the worst thing is when a business is in 4 corners, they got to deal with 2 counties. Trust me, that's never fun. So we're looking at all that, and as a matter of fact, Backlots is in the 4 corners area. So, yeah. So we're going to be this, so just so you know that there's still steps that need to take place. And Dave Tomac is here. He could probably tell you a little bit more of what exactly the stipulations are being reviewed. Again, they're their staff, they're our great staff, and they're amazing. They do a lot of work with not just talking to our stakeholders, the people that are involved, the boards that are making the decisions, then they come together and then they come to us. So realize that there's many steps before a final decision is even made. Celestia is an amazing person. When you talk about numbers, she can give you all the numbers of all the, not just the assistant programs that we've been doing, but when it comes to housing, she brought a lot of information to also give you so that you have that concrete information. And also, please know, before I go, I want to, and I apologize, I have to leave a little early, but I have my cards here. I want you all to know that you could call me at any time. We have, my assistant Jessica is amazing. I set up meetings, if not in person, by Zoom. I am seeing people in person on Mondays at the office, but if not, we can do it through Zoom. My staff, these are one of the 2 best staff we have here, and I made sure they came so that you could meet them and see whatever questions you have when it comes to affordable housing, when it comes to the services that we're providing, and where and what direction the county is moving towards. The other thing I would like to say, I would love to come back with more staff. Hi, Sammy, we've been waiting for you. Thanks for coming. Thank you so much. No, don't apologize. I'm leaving, but you're going to take over for me. Is that okay? Yeah, you'll be on the commission. So I just wanted to let you guys know I would love to come back, and one of the things we talked about is perhaps bringing in the department, again, the department heads, but bringing a lot more data and information, and then kind of exchanging ideas. How can we get your ideas implemented into the changes we want to see?
What is your thought on the idea of a citizens workshop
Let's do it.
to brainstorm
Let's do it.
possible things?
So folks,
Would
just
you all
so
be
you know,
interested in something like that?
so folks, just so you know, when I started, I started right away a citizens committee, a business committee, and a student committee. I have those committees active every single month. Of course, COVID unfortunately put a damper to meeting in person. I invite everyone and anyone in our county that would like to come to these meetings. We do quarterly meetings on any ideas, not just affordable housing. We've had coal ash, we've had so many different issues. And it's important for you to get involved. I'm constantly asking any District 1 resident that wants to get involved to even volunteer and come and see the things in day-to-day of what we do as commissioners, and sometimes the hard decisions we really have to do. Not only would I love to have that committee here, but I would also love, if it's okay with all you guys, to bring in a game. I played this game with lots of our seniors, and I also play with our student committee. What is it about? It talks about how us as commissioners, the 5 of you become commissioners, 5 people become commissioners in the game, and we've got many of them, and it helps with decision making on where funding goes. Because reality is, how much money do we have to disperse? I wish we had $20 billion. We don't. But I wish we did, to be able to do a lot. And so it kind of puts you in the position that I'm in and says, hey, how could we, what is it that we have to take away to provide? Or what can we provide without taking away? And what creative ideas do you folks have that I can't come up with? I need you guys for that.
And
I
that could
always have
include
open doors.
what requirements, what stipulations, what protocols from several decades ago need to be re-looked
Oh,
at.
100%.
And
When
change
was
for the
How
current.
old is the master plan?
So that's questions that Dave could answer.
We update it about every 10 years,
And when was the last time was updated?
about 7 years ago.
So, and just so you guys do know, when there's major issues, because master plan is not the only thing. I mean, commissioners could update this process, for example,
Right,
we're
right,
updating
yeah.
it now. Things could be updated all the time. It's a matter of getting 5 commissioners to understand what is it that we want. Does it meet the need for the majority? Because all of you in this room may agree on one thing, but guess what? I could have the room next door that disagrees with you, same amount of people. What we want to do is come into consensus and see what is going to work. Variety of housing, very important. Affordability, and what does that mean? Very important. Where, location, very important. Our industries, our small businesses, very important. How do we bring that all together? So I'm eager to do it. I'm here, I'm available, and I know I gotta go now, but but I will be, and I'm happy to come more on a one-on-one or, you know, with more time. I would love that.
Very good. Thank you
Yeah,
very
and
much.
I'm gonna leave you guys.
It's so good to see you, Sammy.
Yeah.
Welcome back. As long as Sammy is here, should we shift gears and
Or shift back.
shift back to Sammy's story?
If you could, Sammy, give us a short rundown of your situation and how you got there.
I used to live with my children in Hunter's Creek, and my oldest son has a severe asthma case. And like a lot of people, we got evicted. I had to stay with the children, so I couldn't work. I got evicted. I said to myself, since the gentleman who was renting from locked the AC from 70 to 85, there's no breathing place for my child, so I said, I'd rather go to a hotel and apply from there to housing, and this would take maybe a couple of weeks. 15 months later, we're still there. Staying at Debbie's place. We'd be literally in the streets if it's not for her health. You know, she always waits on me. I'm late, always on payments and stuff. Especially with the COVID now, that they send a child, one of the children every 2 or 3 days. If somebody has COVID in the classroom, you have to do the test, wait for 2 or 3 days. That takes out of my time to work and stuff, you know. There's no family here to watch my children are working, except for these wonderful ladies here, you know.
Bye, Sammy.
And
And what is your work?
I do transportation. That's the only thing I can do now, because I can always go and check on the children and go out again and work. You know, I can't have a job. It's 8 hours.
And what did you used to do?
Before I was transit. I was linguist. I translated 4 different languages.
Huh? I'm still working on one.
But for me, what I was always been wondering, because Bettina and her organization, maybe the biggest blessing for us. You know, it's hands-on. The children hit her car. Again, beep, 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 and they come running like, Bettina's here, Bettina's here. There's some kind of ray of hope, you know. But I'm wondering, how come an organization like Bettina, for example, doesn't get the big help, like from the government and stuff? It's just from the people, and that's the real help that I receive. Not the organizations. Somehow I always fail to tell me you're not qualified because you're not a homeless. You're not qualified because you have running water, because you have electric.